This is the customer churn data set. We have a bunch of different customers. There are 10,000 of them. Their credit score, where they live, gender, age, how long they've been with the company. The question here is whether or not they left the company. So they're no longer a customer. So 1 means that they're no longer a customer. But there's other things that we can find out from this data. So the head of the credit card department says that the proportion of people with a card in France is the same as it is in Spain or Germany. So we're trying to find out if the proportion in France is the same as, we'll choose Spain. So to do this, first of all, I'm going to create a pivot table. So insert pivot table. This is the data I want to use. It's going to create a new tab for me. And I want to use geography as my column. And has credit card for my rows, so 0 and 1, and also has credit card for my values. Now you can see it has no values here for 0, which would mean people don't have cards. And that's because it defaulted to some. So I'm just going to click on the I and change it to count. And now this is the count of people. And so for the proportion for France, Germany, Spain, this would be equal to the number of people with cards divided by the total number of people. Right, so 70% of people in France have cards. .71% of people in Germany have cards, and oops, that's the wrong one. That's incorrect. Equals this divided by this. And 69.4% have it in Spain. So these all look very close together. Maybe it's actually the exact same. But we can test this a little bit more specifically by using our proportions test. We can also use XLstat to help us. I'm going to open up XLstat. And here we go. You go to parametric test, and then test for 2 proportions. All right, so just gonna, no, that did not work. I hit enter, and that I was not ready to do it yet. All right, so parametric test, 2 proportions. All right, proportion 1. I'm actually going to change these to frequencies so I can type these values in directly. My frequency for 1 is 3543, and the number of people in France, 5,014, and we will choose frequency for our second group. We're going to choose Spain is 1721, and the number of people we have in Spain is 2477. So frequencies, under options, I can change my significance level, and I can also change what kind of test we're doing. So the question is, are they the same in France and in Spain? So the alternative hypothesis would be that they're not the same. Let's run this. And we're done. I'm just going to add some significant digits here. All right, so we did a 2-tailed test, and the observed z-value is 1, so 1 standard deviation away from the mean, and our critical value is 1.96. So So we know that 1 is less than 1.96, and so there's not going to be evidence to reject the null hypothesis. And if we come down here, it tells us what the null and alternative hypotheses are, and that the computed p-value, we cannot reject the null hypothesis. Yep. So we can do the same process for the other ones, but that's how we use the XLstat and proportions and a pivot table to be able to see if the credit card count is the same for different countries.